Year 1 brought a lot of content and new updates to Animal Crossing New Horizons. There was a bunch of different holidays, different new activities to do in the game, fun new furniture, clothing, and other stuff to collect. But now that we're coming down to the year anniversary of this game being out, I thought it'd be kind of fun to look back on the last year, the year 1 of Animal Crossing New Horizons being out, and kind of rank all the previous updates we had last year. We're going to be ranking these updates from worst, saving the best for last. It's kind of a little trip down memory lane, remembering all the fun moments before we go into the next year here in Animal Crossing New Horizons. But before we get started, if you are new here, perhaps consider subscribing. Mr. YouTube here says that if you aren't subscribed, mega cringe, bro. No, if you are new here, perhaps consider subscribing. We do tons of Animal Crossing New Horizons content here on the channel, and there's a massive back catalog of so much amazing content that I highly encourage you to go check out after this video. So consider subscribing, it's free, and you can always change your mind later. Anyways, thank you so much for listening to that. Without further ado, let's get started. Oh man, okay, where are we gonna start? The Mario Day update. I'm hesitant to even call this a full-blown update, so that's why it's kind of at the bottom of the list anyways, because in general, it's the least amount of content that came with all the updates in this past year. So this barely counts, but they did kind of advertise it as such, like a Mario update, you know, at the end of the trailer, like, hey, look forward to the Mario update coming out. So we're still gonna count it, but that's the reason it's at the end of this list, just because of the amount of content that came with it. Of course, it came with a bunch of new Super Mario themed items. It was a really great collaboration, bringing that crossover of Mario items into Animal Crossing, all the fun clothing, all the Mario blocks. The biggest surprise, of course, being the warp pipe item being a really useful feature, being able to teleport around your island. I mean, that's an amazing feature, but small in the scope of the entirety of this update. In addition to that, like many other updates, it brought a collection of some seasonal items as well, but in general, this was just a furniture update. Just brought some new furniture to the game. That's all it really was, and that's all it needed to be. Next on the list, the Festivale update. Again, another update that was very recent, but looking back, it really was just the Festivale holiday. Of course, you know, Pave would come to your island, you could collect the feathers, using those feathers to trade in for the furniture set of Festivale. It was quite odd that there was no actual DIY sanctioned for this holiday. You could only get these furniture from participating on the in-day holiday, and then you could use said feathers to customize the furniture from there. But beyond the day of the holiday itself, there was the introduction of course, some new Festivale clothing, which of course were very fun. But then there was also the Festivale reaction set, which is kind of cute. It's great to be able to dance with your villagers and stuff like that. But in my opinion, they weren't really some of my favorites emotes. I mean, yeah, being able to dance is kind of nice, but the rest of them kind of felt, I don't know, pretty uninspired. Even since they've been out, I haven't really seen myself using them that much. It's still fun to be able to dance here and there if you want to, but they're just a better collection of emotes in the game. So that's why this update's a little towards the end of our list. Moving our way up, the next holiday is gonna be the Halloween update. I feel bad because I had a lot of fun with Halloween. This update did bring a lot of cool stuff. First of all, it brought plantable pumpkins, which that was something we'd been speculating and hoping that would come to the game for so long, seeing like some new farmable crop introduced here in New Horizons. But it's sad to see that's the only one we've seen so far. On the day of Halloween itself, of course, you could interact with Jack, and you could craft all the spooky furniture, which I will admit, the spooky furniture set was one of my favorite holiday sets in the game. But as far as the activities on the day itself, if you really break it down, it's just running in circles talking to villagers over and over and over. There really isn't much gameplay beyond just talking to characters, which is fine, but if you compare it to some other holidays we'll talk about later, there was just a lot more involved in those holidays compared to this one. I think I just have good memories with it because I played with a bunch of friends and we just had a nonsense of a time running around the town during Halloween, but that's besides the point. In addition to the holiday spooky stuff that was brought to the game, they actually introduced a new feature brought to the Dream Suite where you can actually revisit dreams. So that was kind of cool that the Dream Suite continued to get updates throughout the year, getting that small update here in the Halloween update. But a more important aspect of this update was this was the first update that brought a collection of brand new reactions to the game. But the idea of new reactions like coming with updates like this update opened the door to that possibility, which was really cool. Alright, so moving on, these next two updates are very, very close on the list, but I think I did a good job in ordering them. So next up, let's talk about Summer Wave 2. The Summer Wave 2 update brought the fireworks shows, which was a lot of fun. You could assign custom fireworks. Crazy Red was there at a little stall where you could buy a bunch of toys, sparklers, fountain fireworks sets and stuff, and it was a lot of fun to participate in. It was a once a week holiday that happened the entirety of the month. And I found myself almost every single Sunday bringing people to my island, going to other people's islands, hanging out with each other, and just having fun, hosting a little get-together party during these events. It was a great sanctioned way to encourage you to play with friends. That's just something I found really special about it. In addition to the fireworks shows being brought with this update, this was the introduction of the Dream Suite, which is a really big feature. The ability to be able to visit other people's islands without having a host be there was something we'd clamored for since the release of the game, and to have like the full-blown Dream Suite be released was a really great feature. Like I previously mentioned, it continued to add more functionality to the Dream Suite in later updates and such, but the introduction of it in general was a really special thing in this update. But beyond the fireworks show and the Dream Suite, there was another feature that came with the Wave 2 update, and that was the island save data backup. A lot of people had a really big fear that if their Switch bricked, they lost their Switch, whatever might happen, they would lose their save of Animal Crossing. And just like they'd promised when the game was first releasing, they introduced a method to be able to back up your save. Just in the worst case scenarios, you can always recover your island. So that was a really great feature to bring along with this update. So the next update, a nearly close tie with the previous update, will of course be the Summer Wave 1 update. I think I preferred this one to the Wave 2, even though it's a really tough decision between the two. Wave 1 did bring a little bit more gameplay interaction that was long-term beyond, just the months that was in the summer, rather than Wave 2 being more specific to like the months of the fireworks festivals and stuff. So anyways, the Summer Wave 1 update brought the diving suit. It brought the ability to players to be able to swim in the ocean, which was something we all wanted to be able to do. Equip your diving suits and go out in the ocean and go collect diving fish. So this update introduced a brand new set of collections to your Critterpedia, new stuff that you can donate to the museum, and beyond just collecting fish while you're out there, you can also hunt for Pascal. Pascal, of course, can give you the mermaid DIY, so an entire new furniture set was introduced here, which would be crafted using pearls. Again, another new material introduced here with this update. But beyond all that stuff, the other thing that was introduced is they brought Gulliver, another new traveling character, the pirate version of Gulliver, which of course introduced another brand new furniture set alongside it too. This was a really fun update. Alright, we're getting close to the end here. Let's rank the final big 2 updates that came to Animal Crossing New Horizons. So the next update I want to talk about is, of course, the April update. I was really close to putting this at number 1, but we'll get to that one in just a second. Anyways, this update brought, without question, probably some of the most amount of content that has ever come to Animal Crossing New Horizons in an update form. It brought a ton of new characters, holidays, gameplay and stuff. It was an amazing update that gave players something to do nearly every week, spanning out for many months after the update came out. First of all, there was Leaf's Garden Shop was introduced as a new rotating character. Leaf was introduced to be able to sell seasonal bushes, a feature returning from Animal Crossing New Leaf. In addition to bushes, there was also the bush fencing itself, which is, a top tier, probably the top tier fence in all of the New Horizons. Another shop that was introduced was the Jolly Red Treasure Trawler. With the inclusion of this returning character and brand new shop, he of course brought along the collectible art pieces. You can sniff out, see which ones are the forgeries, try to get the real art pieces, and with that of course it brought a brand new expansion, an upgrade to the museum, including the new art gallery. This was a really big, expansive update. So much new to the game and new to look forward to each week. Like Leaf's Garden Shop and Jolly Red's Treasure Trawler are absolute staples when it comes to like the rotating characters per week. And I literally couldn't imagine not having them all of last year. But beyond these 2 new shops, they introduced a ton of holidays that proceeded to happen throughout the following weeks and months after this update came out. The first one that came up was Nature Day, that basically encouraged people to shop at Leaf's Garden Shop. It gave you a bunch of Green Thumb Nook Mile activities to participate in, and just fun rewards like that. A little bit later down the road was the May Day Tour, where you could get a special ticket from Nook and go to this special mystery island that had a garden maze you could explore through. This was a really fun thing to interact with, and of course your reward at the end was being able to see our long beloved character, Rover. It is one of those holidays where it's like a one and done thing, but it still was a really fun thing to participate in. After May Day was International Museum Day. For a week, there was a holiday held in the museum where you'd run around in all the exhibits and complete a stamp rally. Again, not the most expansive holiday around, but at least it was just something to look forward to in the following weeks, Then finally after that, they introduced wedding season later in June. You could go to Phototopia or Harv's Island and take a bunch of photos of Race and Cyrus, and as you continue to take photos each and every day, you'll unlock more heart crystals, collect more of the wedding day furniture set. So if you look at the scope of this entire update, it just brought so much to do, so many different holidays, so many different interactions, new characters, new shops. There was a lot involved, and it really came out at a perfect time because it came out right after the game released, so it felt like there was so much to continue to do after you completed like the main quote-unquote campaign of the game. But you know what? I have to say, there was still one update that I think was even better. And without any further anticipation, the Turkey Day and Toy Day update. So let's break it down. First thing to mention, it brought the Turkey Day holiday, in which honestly, this might be one of my favorite holidays to participate in the game, because it encouraged you, the player, to like do a bunch of different things that are already incorporated in the game. It wasn't just like, oh, just go around and talk to villagers, or like Festivale, oh, all you're doing is using your bug net and catching feathers. Like there was like steps and progression as you participated in the holiday where you would do just different things the game offered to do. Perhaps you'd go around and collect manila clams from your beach. Maybe you'd go fishing and collect a certain fish that you might need. Maybe you'll equip your diving suit and go hop in the water and look for a specific diving creature. Beyond that, with what you've collected, you could go to villagers in their houses and help them with their recipes to unlock different ingredients. It was definitely more of like a single player kind of focused holiday, but that was what was kind of cool about it. There was a structure to it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I just really appreciated that it included so many different things you could already do in Animal Crossing to like make this holiday a thing. Beyond that, I mean, the Turkey Day furniture is like awesome. Year round, it looks good. So like, that's also a plus too. Beyond, of course, Turkey Day, the other holiday was Toy Day, and admittedly a little bit smaller in scope, but it was still really cute and wholesome to be able to deliver gifts all to your fun favorite villagers, as well as all the fun new toy items that came alongside this update. It was really cute to have the little robot toy, the little dinosaur. I mean, the puppy plushie is like a staple on everyone's island at this point. So that alone already puts this update well above the others for the puppy alone. And to wrap up holidays that came with it, it also brought a bunch of New Year's items. Every update brought a bunch of seasonal catalog stuff, but the New Year's items felt really special too, because it felt very specific to this time of year, celebrated a ton of different traditions and cultures with all these fun new items. This update brought a lot of great holidays to the game. But there was stuff that was introduced even beyond these two holidays. For one, it brought the new hairstyle pack, including a ton of new hairstyle options, which are so amazing to see that kind of representation in this game. But in addition to that, it also brought the best reaction set we have ever gotten. As far as reaction updates here in New Horizons, this is the best set. It brought the yoga pose, it brought working out, it brought the here we go, it brought sitting down. I mean, these are some of the most iconic emotes in Animal Crossing, many of which that are permanently on my favorite emote wheel. Like, straight up, these were the best emotes that were brought to the game. And honestly, this is part of the reason why this update is deemed as my favorite so far, because of the reaction. They are just so amazing. But on top of all these great holidays, of the reactions, the hairstyles, all the fun new items, they also listen to fans and increase the item limit of your home storage. Like, I feel like we're kind of spoiled because we've had it for so long and forgot about it. But man, towards the end of the summer and throughout the fall, I was cramping, having no space in my inventory, having to worry about like going out of my way to sell a bunch of my stuff, just like clear out my storage. It was just such nonsense. But this was just an amazing update. It even brought some smaller things. Like for one, it updated the Dream Suite some more, including the option to be able to let you go to a completely random dream address. In addition to that, it also introduced the new island / like resident transfer tool, so you can actually like transfer your character from one Switch to another if you like bought a new Switch or whatever. So it increased some accessibility that way. Easily looking back, this was my favorite update. It brought so much great content in the game. The holidays were so much fun. It brought so much great furniture, the hairstyles, the reaction, the home storage. Well, for the longest time, I always would say the April update was my favorite because it did bring a lot of like, stuff to do. But the more I look back, man, that Turkey Day Toy Day update brought a lot of cool stuff to the game. But anyways, those are all the updates in year 1 of Animal Crossing New Horizons. So looking back, what was your favorite updates? How would you rank them? And would it be different to how I ranked mine? Let me know that in the comments below. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big awesome like. And if you haven't already, definitely subscribe for tons more on Animal Crossing New Horizons. As a reminder, we do stream this game every weekend at 10 a.m. Eastern right here on YouTube Live. That's both Saturdays and Sundays. Be sure to follow me over on my socials to keep up with everything we do in regards to the channel, as well as join our community Discord. The link to that is in the description below. It's a great place to find friends to play Animal Crossing with, play other Nintendo Switch games and stuff. It's a lot of fun, so I highly encourage you to come on by. Anyways, guys, thanks again so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!